Hi, and thanks for joining another Ask a Scientist. This is a series where we answer questions from colleagues and clients of Microbial Insights. I'm Vice President of Applied Innovation, Dr. Sam Rosolina.
And hi, I'm Dora, Taggart, CEO here at Microbial Insights. As Sam said, it's such a fun experience to be doing these videos. And we have another great question for you guys this week. So this time the question is regarding the biodegradation of total petroleum hydrocarbon sources that have residual L-NAPL present. What are the tools to help us understand TPH degradation rates in the subsurface? And what can these rates tell us about the extent of natural source zone depletion that will lead to site closure or not? And I was really excited with this question in particular because we worked a lot on this a couple of years ago and with some regulatory presentations. So we developed a tool in conjunction with Dr. Trent Key from ExxonMobil back in 2022 that Sam and I are going to tell you about today.
Yeah, another one, I keep saying this for every series, every video, but I love this question. I think it's great. This process is fascinating because for a long time, researchers didn't realize that NAPL degraded on its own. We thought that it had to be dissolved in the groundwater in order to be accessed by microbes that could then biodegrade them kind of one at a time. But we've since learned otherwise. So even back in the 90s, folks started to understand that L-NAPL, or light non-aqueous phase liquid, we talked about this in a previous video, that L-NAPL could be degraded, but they didn't fully understand the process, and they didn't really understand to what extent. And it wasn't really until folks like Tom Sale and Sanjay Garg started looking into this that researchers understood on what level this was happening. We're talking about thousands of gallons per acre per year of non-aqueous phase liquid that was kind of just disappearing. So much more than we would expect to disappear through dissolution or volatilization or other physical processes like that. And so as this started to be more and more understood, kind of the impact of this occurring, the question then was, this isn't just a small amount that is going away. So how do we understand what's happening? And even better, how do we harness this or take advantage of what's happening? And so this was deemed natural source zone depletion, or NSZD in short. And so the question then is, how does this work? How does natural source zone depletion work? The short answer is we still don't really know. There's so many different processes involved in this phenomenon, and that includes physical processes like adsorption and desorption and volatilization and movement, ebullition, that kind of thing, but also bioremediation, which is where we come into play, as well as chemical processes as well. So we'll throw a photo up on the screen or an image from a publication that shows just some of these processes that are involved in natural source zone depletion.
Yeah, and Sam's right. It really is a very complex process, so you really need to take that multiple lines of evidence approach. Before I go into it anymore, though, I have to give a shout out to Dr. Carey Sublette. Dr. Sublette is the inventor of the BioTrap samplers. We've worked with him for decades. And I remember him coming to me on a site in the Midwest in the early 2000s, and he's like, Dora, I know microbes are doing something with an apple. And he was just so confident that it was happening, and he was right. His NAPL was going away through these processes. We just didn't understand it and didn't have a name for it. But now, through this multiple lines of evidence approach, as Sam mentioned, we can really do a better job. We can look at that groundwater chemistry. We can look at the concentrations of the hydrocarbons that are present, the M&A parameters that are there, the hydrogeology and other tools that are available for NSZD, such as carbon dioxide and thermal flux. So all of those things give you part of the story of what's going on, but it's really critical that you guys take into account the microbes that are present. And in the regulatory presentation that I did back in 2022, one of the things that was really critical was for them to understand the right microbes were there that were causing this carbon dioxide flux, that were causing some of these thermal changes that they were seeing. And as you can see in this image that we're going to put here on the screen, the area around the L-NAPL really becomes very reduced. So you can't just look at multiple lines of evidence in one area. You really need to look across that plume so you can truly understand what's going on.
Right. And so when we're looking at that microbial line of evidence, which you mentioned, what we can do is look at some of these organisms and groups of organisms that were identified by Sales Group and through Chuck Newell and all these other folks. And we can quantify their abundance. And what that tells us is, do we have the right number of organisms to help kind of complete this circuit? Or do we have the right organisms at all to make this happen? And that can also give us information on things like methane generation at the surface, right? And so we have an analysis called Quantre NSZD, and what we'll show now on the screen are some of the targets involved in that Quantre NSZD. And those that are outlined, these boxes that have black outlines, these are really key groups of organisms that are directly related to NAPL degradation. And so you have groups like these fermenters who kind of hang out at that NAPL water boundary, and they take that L-NAPL directly and they can convert it into things like alcohols and gases and volatile fatty acids. And then these are in turn used by lots of other organisms. Some of those other really important ones are the acetogens. And those are really useful in terms of forming some of that acetate, which is then turned into methane through acetoclastic methanogens. So there are a lot of different organisms that are at play here. And then the methane, or the CO2, can actually be directly measured at the surface and compared against background concentrations. There are even traps involved to help identify kind of the rate of NSZD that may be occurring at a site.
Yeah, and one of the groups you want to make sure that you look at in this is something called biosurfactant producers, because these bacteria make their own like soap-like substances that can help wash out the NAPL out of these small pores that are in the aquifer, and it makes them actually even more bioavailable for degradation. So as the NAPL's dissolved or degraded, you get these low molecular weight compounds like our BTEX that can be released, and then we can use Quantre Petro that you guys are probably familiar with, or we've talked about in other videos if you're not, or check out our website to learn more. And you can use these to document that this degradation pathway is actually occurring, so you get complete transformation of these compounds throughout this process. And let me just tell you, we've done this at a very large number of sites now around the world, and we do have confidence that NSZD is occurring. And when you put these tools in the picture with what you see, we sometimes see gallons of degradation per year in one area and it's much lower in another area. Typically there's a microbial group missing. And so once you start to identify that, you can optimize that process across the site. So I would encourage you to check out other videos we've had in this series so you can learn more about BTEX degradation as you create these low molecular weight compounds. There's a new toluene calculator that you can check out that Dr. Giovanni Poloni gave a webinar on that you can check out the link that we'll put up here. You can go to our website. We'll put the page link there for you to be able to access this calculator. But I think there's a lot of great tools for you to be able to use.
And one other option, as always, is just to reach out if you have questions about NSZD, if you have questions about Quantre NSZD or Quantre Petro, or if you have questions about your site in general, let us know. Reach out to info@microbe.com, and we'd be happy to talk you through your site and anything else that you have questions on.
Yeah, definitely. And as I mentioned, we've done this now on a very large amount of sites around the world, so we have a lot of experience in the changes and the differences that you see in different environments. So please reach out. Let us share the expertise, the experience we've gained globally as scientists. We don't need to reinvent the wheel every time we look at a site. We can work together to share information. So we are always happy to do that. Also, we want to keep doing this series, so we need some more great questions from you. So reach out to info@microbe.com, share some more information on what you'd like to understand. And it can be remediation topics, it can be energy related topics, pretty much anything that has to do with a microbe. We would love.
Let it be about a microbe.
Let it be about a microbe. Include that in your question. But otherwise, we'd love to hear from you and invite you to reach out to us with these questions, or as Sam said, if you have questions that you need help with on your sites. Always happy to be a supporting role on the microbial side for you. Look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thanks.